So episode 4 of Gamers I think is easily my favorite episode of the series. Tendo has easily become one of my favorite, if not my favorite character in this show. She's just such an unexpected character because you thought you knew exactly what type of personality she would have within episode 1, and then the ending kind of shift the entire show into becoming its own thing. And I feel like her character is just, it's so silly, it's so over the top, and really just showcases a girl madly in love. She's head over heels for our main character, Amano, and I just love the overall just embarrassment and just silly situations that she'll get in, because now that she's in love, everything within her world is turned upside down. So I really appreciated that this episode was a Tendo focused episode, because not only does like the first half of the episode just showcase what her day is, like what is a day in the life of Tendo, like how does it roll, and you just see this perfect straight A student, super popular, you know, denying people's loves, but she always would at least deny in person. She'd never just turn her back on someone. And then I love how you see the switch after she started to fall in love with Amano, and I thought it was just so sweet, over the top, embarrassed. It was romantic, but it was also just hilarious all at the same time. To then seeing the sort of date that isn't a date with Amano between Tendo, I thought it was just the perfect episode. Obviously, if you don't like the character, this is probably the worst episode for you. But for me, I just love seeing just Tendo put into the spotlight, because for pretty much the past 3 episodes, she's been kind of like put into the side, the one who's kind of like peeking around the corner, just kind of stalking our main character, because she doesn't understand truly like what she's feeling, but she kind of understands her feelings for Amano. So I really appreciate having an episode mainly just focused on her, as well as Amano, really showing us what's going on in her mind, who she was before she met our very kind of like just weird gamer of a main character, and now seeing how her world has been tossed upside down and how she's become a worse gamer because of it, just because her emotions can't have the satisfaction that she desperately just wants. This episode, it was a very basic episode at the core, but I thought the directing was absolutely on point. There was just, because the episode literally kicks off with just seeing her life and how it is, and the narration that she's giving, the perfect life in the day of Tendo. And then I loved how the directing works, because they'll repeat the lines that was said when we were focusing on her perfect life before she met Amano. And then I love seeing how the directing would work with the dialogue to make it even more funny, like her taking the basically like vials to like chemistry class, but basically she was going the wrong way. And I love how the dialogue is saying like she's doing everything on time and everything's perfect, when in reality the teacher behind her is like freaking out like you're going the wrong way. I loved how the directing really worked with the kind of like the narration that was going on in the episode. It made it even that more funny. But Tendo is just a very likable character to me. I think she's very sweet. She's someone you want to root for, even though she just feels like she's failing nonstop. And I really enjoy her character. And I think really at the end of the day, all the characters are very enjoyable, but her character really sticks out the most to me, because you really feel like you knew exactly what type of character she was going to be. The very just kind of pretty lead who our main character would fall in love with, but instead they reversed it and made her fall in love with our main character. And our main character, he's just a gamer. He doesn't think he even deserves to be around this girl, when in actuality she wants him to kind of confess feelings and things like that. And I don't think we're ever going to see really any sort of like main relationships between our main character with someone else, but I do appreciate the dynamic that's going on between Tendo as well as him, and I just think it's a fun dynamic overall because of it. Of course, I could easily see people saying maybe it gets a little stale because she's doing this, but I feel like within the past 4 episodes, they spiced up her kind of embarrassment and just reactions enough that it feels refreshing every single episode. And I'm going to be really interested how the remaining 8 episodes are going to play out with their relationship, if they're going to take it anywhere, or if they're just going to keep it as an embarrassment kind of comedy gag. Either way, I'm fine with it. But she easily has risen to be, I would say actually at this point, my favorite character in this show. I like all the characters, but she is just such a sweet and charming character within this series, and she's always having me laughing or just smiling at something that's going on screen. I'm really excited for next week's episode. Not a whole lot to say with this episode, but it was charming, it was funny, the directing was absolutely on point, and I had a blast watching this episode. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What was your favorite moment? Was it the narration stuff at the beginning, or was it actually the arcade stuff on the sort of date that wasn't a date? Let me know your thoughts, and before you leave, smack that like button, show your support for the new channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.